Hello friends, welcome back to virtual session. And in today's session we are going to discuss about Servlet. Right now, Servlet plays a very vital role in Java's web development. Just like JSP, which stands for Java Server Pages. JSP actually provides us scriptlets. Scriptlets means we need to embed Java code within HTML. But in case of Servlet having its own container, Servlet having its own life cycle, and one can say that we are embedding HTML in Java. In JSP, we are embedding Java in HTML. That is JSP. In case of Servlet, we are embedding HTML in Java. This is what initial difference is. We'll be discussing in great details how Servlet will work, how to add the Servlet in the application, how Servlet will perform its functionalities using its own life cycle, as well as how we can able to produce dynamic responses for the web users. Let us go through this diagram. In this diagram, I tried to define the Servlet. What is Servlet? A server-side application to develop dynamic responses. Now, we need to understand firstly what we exactly mean by dynamic response. Whenever we connect to any web application, just like for example www.axiomtechguru.com, after successfully connecting to the web server, a home page or HTML page will be get loaded onto your machine. That is means here also when I make a request, server develops a response, but that was a static response. It won't able to process my query. It just respond. It just give me the static pages which are stored onto the web server. But now take an example of a login page. If you want to log into the Axiom's VIP module, then what you will do? You will be entering your login credentials. For example, enter your login ID, enter your password. Once you enter your login credentials, this data will be get posted to the server, and then Servlet on the server or Java server page on the server will read the values posted by you, get it connected to the database, check for the availability of the credentials, and then If the ID and password is correct or validate, then it will redirect you to the login success page. And this is called as dynamic response. Do you get my point clear? What is called as static response and dynamic response? In case of static response, server just provide the static pages get loaded onto the web browser. But in case of dynamic response, server side logic plays a role. It accepts the data, it processes the data, it establishes the database connectivity, it performs like server side operations on the server, and then able to develop a response as per the query asked by the user or as per the data posted to the web server. And here is the role of a servlet. Means in single statement, if someone want to answer what is servlet, it's a server side application to develop a dynamic response. What it will do, it will accept user request and develop a response using servlet lifecycle. In case of core Java, probably we studied about applet. Now applet means it's a browser compatible Java application, where we had a discussion that applet having its own life cycle, just like init, paint, start, stop and destroy. In the similar manner, servlet on the server side also having its own life cycle. Server will be resided in the servlet container. Whenever you add a servlet in your Java application, server has to be added on the servlet container, and once the servlet started, it has to go through the various phases of life cycle. For example, init means initialization, service means it will perform the service as per the request given by the web user. Then there is a process method, there is a do get method. Now service method, process method is going to develop the response for the user. It is responsible for processing the data. Now do get means if data posted using get method, then do get will be active and process that data. Do post means if the data which is posted to the server, where method equal to post, not get. So do get and do post are responsible for processing data, but as per the request come from whether the method is used as a get method or the post method. And destroy means servlet stop functioning, it ends its life cycle on the web server. So once the servlet get started on the web server, it has to go through these various phases like init, service, process, do get, do post and destroy. To generate a servlet or to produce a servlet or to create a servlet rather on the server side, we have to use the classes called as HTTP servlet, HTTP request and HTTP response. Now these all classes are coming under the package called as javax.servlet. So by using these all classes, HTTP servlet, HTTP request, HTTP response, we are going to write a server side code, server side logic we need to develop, and that is called as servlet, which is responsible for accepting users data which may be available in the form, or which may be available in the form of request. So that request goes to the servlet container. Servlet, as I said, it's a server side logic which is responsible for developing dynamic response. So once servlet is on, once servlet starts producing services or start giving services on the web server, it will accept the request from the user, and as per the request, as per the data posted, server develops a response, right? And to develop the response, it consists logic to process the data, right? So servlet is available in the servlet container. By using the servlet engine, it runs on the server, it accepts the data, process the data, and then develop the response for the user. And in this manner, servlet generates a dynamic response for the user. Let us understand this all the stuff what we are discussing up till now theoretically by like practical demo. I believe to understand the servlet well, we need to go through the couple of good examples so that we can able to develop servlets for the web services. What we learn in servlet, that is, servlet is a server side Java application which is responsible for developing dynamic response for the user. Up till now, we learn about the JSP scriptlets. Now scriptlets means we develop a response page, but we accept the data and we embed Java in HTML, right? You might be aware about that. While adding JSP tag, we use the modulus and we write the Java code in HTML. But servlet is a bit different. Servlet is also responsible for accepting data and processing and developing the response for the request. Both JSP scriptlets and servlet is used for the same purpose, but the difference is here JSP scriptlets means Java in HTML and servlet means HTML in Java, right? So let us understand this all the theoretical stuffs practically by working with good demonstrative codes using servlets. Let us discuss servlets by one good example. I create a project by the name of demo servlet 1. Once you create the project, what you will find, the folders like web pages, source package, libraries, configurations files will be added. Now, as we already prior discussed, on the web pages, I am going to develop my request forms or request pages rather, HTML pages, static HTML pages. And once I send the request or send the data using form, then my servlets will play a role over here, right? So how to create the servlet, how to add the servlet, that I am going to demonstrate. Now, to create the web pages, by default you got the index.html. If you want to add another web pages, you can add it like a web pages. Right click on the web pages, go for the new and select HTML over here. So by doing this, you can add as many web pages as you can, right? But now, to develop the dynamic response, because web pages are going to run on the client machine, runs on the browser. But now to develop the response on the server side, I need to write the server side logic, and for that reason go to the source packages, and here you can right click and select new servlet. Once you select a servlet, it will ask you to provide the name of the servlet, it will ask you to select the location or the package. Now try and understand one point. While adding servlets, it is highly recommended to add the servlet into the package. So you create your own package. Here in this example, I created a package by the name of my name, Sushil. You can right click on this and add a package as well, Java package, and give your name as well, right, or any other name. Now this is called as a servlet container. That package is called as a servlet container. So what I did over here, I created the package by the name of my name, Sushil, and inside that package you have to add a servlet. So here I added the servlet, two servlets, servlet 1 and servlet 2, right? So if you once you add the, just like let's say if you add a servlet 3 over here, right, let's say servlet 3, okay, and click and select the package, that is Sushil, and then you go for the next. When you go for the adding the servlet, it will ask you add information to deployment descriptor. Deployment descriptor means web.xml file. It's a configuration file. While running the services on the web server will take help of this configuration file called as web.xml. So as you know that servlets are deployed onto the server, we need to register that servlet. So for registering that servlet onto the server, we need to check in the add information to the deployment descriptor, that is web.xml. We need to understand one point, why we are going to do this, because servlet has to be started first, right? Server has to be on first, and then it will accept the request and developing response for the user. So I need to add information to the deployment descriptor. You have to check it and then you go for the finish. Once you write that, once you feed that all the data regarding the name of the servlet, regarding the package, and regarding adding information to the deployment descriptor, that is web.xml. Now web.xml actually is a configuration file. So if you click on the configuration file list, you will find web.xml. This is by default, it is created. So in the web.xml, if you go through the code, what changes it makes. So it's a XML, it's a user defined tags it will develop. So it will encode all the servlets which I produce. Now servlet 1 is the name of first servlet, and which is available in the package called as sushil.servlet1, and servlet second is also added, which is available in the package called as servlet 2, and the third servlet I also added, which is available in the package called as servlet 3. So these information web server will read that what are the registered servlets available in the web.xml. So that is why it is called as configuration files. Means at the time of executing these services on the server, web server take help of this all the registered servlets, right? Okay. Now we are not adding additional libraries to it. So we have a request form and we have the servlets. Now go to the coding for the servlets. Once you register the servlet, if you double click on the servlet over here, what you will find here by default that all the packages will be added, right? It will be added by default by the servlet. Here I already told you that servlet classes like HTTP servlet, HTTP request, HTTP response, that all packages or all classes are actually belongs to the package called as servlet. So Java extended.servlet have that all the classes. So in that package, once I add the servlet, all the classes will be added, and then by default it will be added a class by the name of servlet3 extends HTTP servlet. Now HTTP servlet, this is the default code for the servlet. So HTTP servlet means your class get extended from the HTTP servlet. So all the life cycle or all the methods belongs to HTTP servlet will be extended to my servlet3 class. Okay. So now what I need to do now to add the server side logic, I need to override all those methods like init, like process request, service, do get, do post, destroy, if you want to implement all the life cycle of a servlet. Initially also, while developing applet, what we did, we write a public class my applet extends applet, and then we override the methods of the applet like init, paint, right, repent and all. So in the similar manner, now we are coding for generating server side servlet. So my class I extend from the HTTP servlet, and then here is the process request, means whenever process request is a by default method, right? So just like applet having by default paint method, in the similar manner we have a process request method. Now if you expand to this, you will find all the methods available like do get, do post. Now this process request is responsible for processing your request comes from the form. Do get means if you post the request by using method as a get, and this method is responsible if you post the data by using the method called as post, and this is normal like processing over there, right? So actually the request comes to the process request firstly, and within this then it will request to the do get and do post as per the method used for like posting the data. Anyway, now if I run this servlet over here right now, right, so that servlet started running, but as I said, there is no request from the web client over here. Means server side logic is running over here, but there is no response available over here, right? Means like unless and until web client will make a request, that's like servlet will not process any task over here. Okay, so let's develop the request page then. So I develop a request page, right? Because if you unless and until you make a request, right, you will not get the response. So server will not automatically give a response unless and until you make a request of. For example, unless and until you type www.axiomtechguru.com, you will not be connected to the web server, and login page or your home page will not be downloaded to your machine. So means you have to give a request, right, and then the response will be dynamical response will be developed. If you want to log into the Axiom Tech Guru, then you have to load the login form, provide the credentials of login ID and password, and then the server side response will be developed. Means response will not get a response directly, right? You cannot run the servlet code directly. You have to firstly develop a request page, and from that request page you have to link up the servlet over there. Then servlet will accept your request, process your request, and develop the response for you. Okay. Now here I'll be developing a request form. The form name is registration, method is post, and action will be processed by the servlet 1. As I already already added a code for the servlet 1. Here is the servlet 1. Now servlet 1 is again belong to the package called as social, and servlet 1 I developed, which is extended from the HTTP servlet. And in the process request, right? In the process request, what I did firstly, that I accepted the data from the waveform. I accepted the data from the waveform by using request.get parameter. Now request is a object of HTTP servlet request, and response is the object belongs to HTTP servlet response. So whichever the form request into this servlet, it will provide the get parameter method. So read the name, surname, age, and city posted, and then it will develop the response. We'll be discussing this about this entire code in the later section. So now first of all, let us move to the request page. So I develop a request page, form name equal to regi, method equal to post, and action equal to servlet. Means whatever the data user will be posted by using the method post, right? To develop the action will be taken care by this servlet. So the request from the form will directly posted to the servlet 1. So here is the GUI, user input details, enter name, surname, age, and here you have a drop down, right, to select any city. And once you feed this name, surname, age, and city, right, the submit button will post this data to the servlet 1, right? This input form will read the data from the user related to the name, surname, age, and city, and after that, once you hit the submit button, that data will be get posted to the servlet 1. Now once the data get posted, means request comes from the web client to the servlet, directly it calls a method called as process request. Now process request is a default method, is a method which is given by the servlet. As I already explained you, there is a init method, there is a process request method, there is a service method, there is a do get, do post. These all methods are actually given by the servlet. Now servlet is a package, right, which provides various classes like HTTP servlet request, HTTP servlet response. Now here is the process request method, right? Here is the process request method belongs to servlet, HTTP servlet. So now here we read the data firstly, right, by using request.get parameter. After that, to develop the response, I am using out.println, right? Out.println, then br. Now here, as I already explained you, that servlet is a HTML embedded in Java. Means here it is a completely Java code, and we are embedding HTML to develop the response. Out.println, br means for break, and name plus nm will print the name, will print the surname, will print the age, will print the city, right? What is posted to the server. It means whenever you run your request form, from this request form data will be get posted to the server, and server will develop the response. That this data means like what data get posted to the server will print that, right, on the server side. And obviously right now I haven't added much code over there, but later on this posted data may be added into the database, right? Maybe perform some database operations, maybe perform some logical operations, like, so that entire code you need to add. But right now, initially in this particular demo sessions, what I am trying to do, how to develop a request page, and this request page or request form will accept the data from the user and post this data to the servlet. And what servlet will do, it will accept the data and develop the response for the client. The scope of this demonstration session is not a big, it just how we can read the data and post to the server, and how server will develop the server is rather servlet which is deployed on the server will develop the response for that user, right? So let us run this index.html now. Right. So once you run that index.html, here it will load that particular UI, right, to read the user details like name, surname, age and city. Now let's say if you read a name that is Sushil, surname is Kodake, and then you enter the age of mine, and then you select if you select my city, that is Pune, and if I submit. Now once I submit this data, then server side code, that is servlet 1, get active. It will read that data and process my data at out.println hello, so it will print hello, and then name is name of the user, surname is surname of the user, age and city, right? So here if you post some other data like AAA or any other demo data and select the age and select the city as well and submit, then server side it will read the data and develop the response for him. Now here in this particular demo code, what I did, I had created a request form, right? As we already gone through the process of how we can create the request form, instead of giving specification of the .jsp file, here I am using servlet, right? What is servlet? It's a server side application logic, right? So what you need to do, whatever the data you posted from the form, if you want that form should post that data to the servlet, then what you need to do, you need to go to the source package, add the package, right? How to add the package, the source package? Right click on the source package and go for the Java package and name that package of your user defined type, and inside that package you need to add the servlet. Once you add the servlet, it will ask you for the name, it will ask you for the package, and then it will ask to whether you would like to add the information to the descriptor or not. Once you check that, add the information to the descriptor and finished, and what it will do, it will add that information onto the web.xml file. What is web.xml file? It's a configuration file, means whenever services get deployed onto the server, whenever web server run the services, it will refer to this web.xml file. Just like in case of Windows, while booting, it will refer to the win.ini file, right? So that booting setup, that machine setup will be get initiated from that win.ini file, right? Autoexe.batch also sometimes we created, that is automatic executable files. So where we specify that all the configurations of the machines. In the similar manner, configurations of the server, right, will be referred from this web.xml file, right? So once you create the servlet, right, the default code will be added like this, and your servlet name or servlet class rather get extended from the HTTP servlet. Then to develop the response, you have to override the methods like a process request, service, then do get, do post, and even get servlet information and all. Now these what is the utility of all these methods? Where we'll be needing, if you want to generate the complete life cycle of a servlet, then probably you are overriding all those methods. But right now, as we need to just override one method, and that method is, okay, I'll just and that method is do process method or process request method, right? So in the process request method, like let us check the syntax of the process request method. Protected void process request method. it is having two arguments, HTTP servlet request, right, and HTTP servlet response. Now HTTP servlet request and HTTP servlet response, these are the classes belongs to like your HTTP servlet.http package, right? So here it's a default code. Therefore up to this you have a default code in the method. Then you add your own code. That this code is for adding like reading the data from the user form, request.get parameter, where request is a object of HTTP request. So as you post the data from this particular form to the servlet 1, so HTTP's servlet request will read the values which is posted in the form of name, surname, age and city. After that, like here I'm not adding any server side logic to process the data. So whatever the data get posted to the servlet, I'm going to print it. So as I already explained you that the difference between JSP scriptlets and the servlet is, in JSP scriptlets will be adding the like Java code in HTML, right? So entire was HTML and we will be adding the Java code by using modular stack. But here in this case of servlet, will be adding HTML in Java, right? So HTML in Java, that is servlet, and Java in HTML, that is scriptlet or the JSP. This is the initial difference. So out.println, and here we are printing the name. Rest is like we are using a HTML code, embedding HTML code to print the data posted to the servlet over here. Hope you get the things clear, right? So when you run the request form, the request form will post the data, right? And whichever data you will be inputting, that data will be get posted to the server by using this servlet. Now let us like develop a servlet second. Here is the servlet second, and here it don't have any like here it's default code over here. So in the process request, I am adding a code. Let's say out.println welcome to servlet programming, right? So here in the process request, I am just adding the code, 3 breaks, like 3 lines of break, and then welcome to servlet programming. This is the message I want to print it. Now obviously to refer to this servlet 2, I need to develop a request page. So I am adding a HTML page over here, maybe by the name of first, right? So HTML page will be added, and here in the HTML page, let's go to the HTML page, body bg color equals to any color, right? And here you specify the link. Okay, I will say demonstrating servlet, right? And then I need to specify the link, and in link I'll be specifying the name of the servlet, new window, file will be okay, and let us say, and text I will be writing link to servlet. Okay, and here href, in the href if I specify the name of servlet 2, right? Means demonstrating servlet will be the title, and whenever I click to this particular link, the servlet which is posted onto the server by the name of servlet2 will be gets a call. Let's try this whether I can able to. So load the first .html and run this file. You'll get a code demonstrating servlet, and you find a link to the servlet over here. When you click on the link to the servlet, here directly the call goes to the servlet which is available on the server. Actually right now there is no any kind of logic available on the server, but the logic is was how it will read the code, read the request, right? It is not posting any data and print it over here, right? So in this manner you can develop a request page, and to produce a dynamic response from the server, what we need to do, we need to create the servlet. You add the source package, and in the source package then there you need to add the servlet. Now servlet is, as I already discussed, servlet is a server side application to develop dynamic responses. It accepts the user's request and develop responses for the user. Servlet is a collection of predefined methods, right? It is having all the it is having its own life cycle, like it has to go through the init, service, process, do get, do post, deploy. It's a process request actually. So javax.servlet is a package which is built for developing a dynamic responses on the server. So whatever the request comes from the server, whether it's the form of like data or the request form, or a normal request to the link, right? It will read the request, it will read the data, and by using server side servlet logic, it will develop the response for the user. The initial distinguish or the difference between the servlet and the JSP page is that in JSP page we are using scriptlets. Now scriptlets means we are embedding Java code in HTML, but in case of servlets we are embedding HTML. Here you will find the more Java, or rather entire Java, and then whatever the response you want to develop, you have to add the HTML in. So HTML in Java is servlet, and HTML consists Java scriptlets, that is JSP. This is the initial difference, right? So hope you understand all these things very clear about the servlet. I am passing it on all the demonstrative code to you, and just practice your first initial servlets over there, right? Thank you.